Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions about this watch. So today we are discussing current collection Roger Dubuis Excalibur Monobalancier in rose gold. So the Excalibur Monobalancier, it has a single balance with the Excalibur case and dial layout. The watch is one of the most wearable Roger Dubuis male models. It is, I'm calling it a male model like it's Zoolander, but it is a men's watch and a fairly substantial one, though at 42 millimeters smaller than Excaliburs of old. That's the diameter. It is 11.5 millimeters thick, which makes it quite svelte, making the most of the micro rotor automatic winding system. From end link to end link, the total distance across the wrist, 50.3 millimeters. We'll throw it on my wrist now, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. It's a good fit. If you've liked the Roger Dubuis aesthetic, but you lamented the fact that they were always huge, this is a breath of fresh air. It's really flat, and it will easily slide underneath the cuff. Plus, you can see even from over the top, which exaggerates the width of the watch, it's still a good match. I'd say you could probably wear this watch on a wrist as small as 15 centimeters circumference, something I rarely say about Dubuis watches of the modern era. Now, the bracelet is integrated by a conforming end link, and you can see there's that little third lug motif down the center. The links feature very different construction inboard and outboard, and it has almost a cubist aesthetic to it, or Egyptian revival, or maybe Hellenic motifs. But there's something very original about the design of this bracelet that feels all Roger Dubuis' own and extremely successful, possibly because it's one of the few bracelet designs I've encountered that has actual depth when viewed from the top. Now, there is a bevel that expands on the lug hoods and then continues down the shoulders of the links. You could see that the links feature screws, so you can remove them with a jeweler's screwdriver, and there is an intermediate-sized link on each side, so you can fine-tune the fit in case you find yourself in between sizes. Twin trigger release, so you have to press both triggers to open up this clasp, which gives you an element of security. And this is a sporty watch, though not really a sports watch. Still, it's nice to know that abrupt movement of the wrist will not cause your clasp to fly open. The lug tips come to a little bit of a teardrop undertuck. There is that bevel that expands towards the end of the lug. The lug's not broken out from the case band longa style, but nor are they integrated super smooth Calatrava or Portuguese style. They do have a little bit of what I would call an inflection where their profile starts and breaks away from the main of the case. We have a crown that has a serration echoing the design of the bezel, Roger Dubuis in media blast and polish. Then we have that serration design for the Excalibur bezel, and it is all polished. The dial features a rehaut outboard that acts as the landing pad for the applique rose gold indices as well as the printed indices, so you can read the minutes. The hands at center are a modified Dauphine. You can see they're half frosted to contrast better and make reading easier. Ease of reading, not a universal quality of skeleton dials, so success on that front for Roger Dubuis designers. The dial features a star motif that has long been associated with the brand and its skeleton movements. You can easily see that we have a micro rotor with ceramic bearings for greater efficiency, an open barrel that allows you to see the coiling of the mainspring, and as it becomes more coiled around the center, the power reserve, which is 60 hours, draws closer to being maximized. But you can also see it unwinding, so you know if it might be necessary to top off your watch. Taking a quick look at the balance, the Monobalancier, it's nicely executed with a traditional set of curb pins on the regulator. And so the movement is the RD820SQ for skeletonized. You've got the micro rotor on ceramic bearings, the 60-hour power reserve. Look carefully, you can see the Poisson de Genève, as this watch made in Geneva does meet all of the standards for the Geneva seal, which is the imprimatur of quality for watches made in the city or canton of Geneva. A beat sway at 4 Hertz. All this pivots on 35 joules, water resistant down to 30 meters, and it is a large movement. 16 French lignes, or approximately 36 millimeters, so it perfectly fills this large case, and the hand and glove fit of a movement inside a case is a hallmark of a true manufacturer that can build all the important parts of the watch and doesn't have to basically sacrifice a match between case and movement because it's not buying off-the-shelf parts and at the mercy of its suppliers. You can see the beveling is high quality on the interior of all these skeletonized hollows. We have satination on the wheels. We have polished screw heads, and then you can see there's an engine turning on all of the flats of the bridges. That is the horizontals of the bridges. You can see that on both sides. And you can see that the screws, where they're visible, are polished on their top. You can see that beveling again from off angle and off axis. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.